Hello all, I am currently in the midst of editing episode 20, which will be out by the time this is out, but at the time of this recording it is it's very early in editing. I'm only 2.5 minutes in, but I thought it'd be fun to shoot this little behind the scenes on how I edit mouths. So mouths, I have had them, oh man, when did I start having them? Some early episode of SSMA, I can't remember which one exactly, but I used to do them with tongues. Now I don't do them with tongues, because I think it still can look good, but I don't know, I think I've chosen to not do them, I don't know. Anyway, I stopped doing them for a while and then I started again, because they're a lot easier to do on Vegas than on fucking Windows Movie Maker. You have different video tracks and keyframes and anything you need, really. So basically how I do mouths is, these are the mouths that I've created, which I put in the project folder of mouths. Those are all the folders for this, this project file. These are all the mouths I've created in Photoshop. You can get away with making them in pretty much anything, MS Paint, GIMP, whatever, what have you. Yeah, I made all these batches of mouths for different occasions. The most I use are the melancholy, neutral, and happy. I rarely use the O anymore, and frowno is what it's called. I tend to not use too much because I don't like how it looks. But I get along perfectly with using these kind of sets of mouths. 4 frames per mouth. We have the closed and the 3 opening ones, and of course to close it's just these in reverse order. So pretty simple. Created those in Photoshop as PNGs to slap on the top of any video. And of course I created them at a larger size and they're downscaled so they don't really have to look perfect in Photoshop or anything like that. Anyway, how I get them on the actual character is probably the most simple part. This is the entire talk. I haven't edited this part completely. This part I have edited, you can see. I won't play audio because it's hooked up to my headphones right now, but you can see that he's talking, and he's moving, and he's talking, and he's great. And then it gets to there and it stops because I haven't edited it yet. So, the way I basically add it to the video track that I name mouths, just for mouths. Sometimes I'll have mouths on another video track or something like that. But anyway, I add the first frame, and then I, utilizing my second monitor, I edit the keyframe to make it much smaller. See how small the box is in the circle? It's much larger usually. Much smaller, tilt it, whatever I need to do for the first frame, and then what I do is I edit all the keyframes that are needed before I actually edit the lips actually opening. You can see for frames like this, they are solid frames that don't have any movement, so they don't need any extra keyframes other than the first one, because the character is not moving. However, when the character starts to move, like right over here, that's when keyframes are brought into the picture, which the reason being is because if the character moves, the mouth will stay at the same place unless it is moved. So you need to move them according to the characters. And I'll show you that, just a brief little over here. See how mouth, obviously getting smaller because it's closing, but Tails is also moving, and so is the mouth. Oh, and now Tails stopped moving. It's really short movement. But yeah, it's really small, and honestly, sometimes I could get away with just leaving it the same, but I don't think if I have, I've rarely left it a normal mouth, no movement, while the character moves. I try to not do that because it doesn't look as good. Sometimes it's minuscule enough, sometimes it's not. Anyway, what I do, first I edit the keyframes before I edit the lips opening. And you can see that right here. It's just the one solid frame of the mouth, the closed one, and all the keyframes that are edited. And what that looks like is, oh, damn it. What that looks like is same mouth all the way through, but the keyframes are edited. See how the mouth is moving along with Tails. The reason I do it this way is because editing the flaps after the keyframes are already placed is much easier because you can see where they're going to be on the face. If you edit the flaps first, with like the first frame being small and staying the same place, you don't get as good of a perception on when the final frame, the mouth completely open, like this one, is going to look like on the face. And you know, sometimes make it bigger or smaller depending on what's happening on screen, stuff like that. So that's a good tip. If you're going to do mouths, I'd recommend editing keyframes first and then doing the actual flaps after, because it makes it a lot easier. And gamma and taste. Alright, well that was, I don't know, I just want to do a quick behind the scenes thing because I haven't done one in a while. And I thought it would be interesting because I don't do behind the scenes on editing, so maybe there'll be more, maybe they won't. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. Later.